How are
We're
you, brother?
back.
We're back.
Great. How are you, man? You're looking good.
Uh,
All white.
Thank you,
Looking
bro.
tight. Let's go.
I like your shirt though, that Knucklemania shirt. Let's go.
Trying to make it back, bro. Let's
Yeah, we're
go.
back.
Billy card coming up too.
Let's go. Garbarino. We're looking forward to that one.
Oh, big cannolis, baby.
The cannolis. Today, man, we got another savage in the building for us. He was kind enough to join us straight off of surgery. He just had shoulder surgery. Yeah, we got another Bkfc special for you guys. Another Bkfc Savage, Markus, Murk season, Suarez. And I believe he's in the waiting lobby, so let's get him on.
He's in the lobby. Let's bring him in. Big throwing hands. Welcome. Merc season. Markus Suarez.
Hey,
Welcome to
what's
the
up,
show,
guys?
baby. Let's go, baby.
One hand.
Oh, shit. Okay.
What's
How
up,
are you,
man?
brother?
Good, bro. You know, resting, recovering. The rehab today, my shoulder, so we're getting better.
How you feeling? How long ago was that surgery? About 2 weeks ago, maybe.
18th of June. Yeah, about 2 weeks ago.
How you feeling?
Man.
How's the recovery going?
It to be honest with you, bro, it sucks. It fucking sucks because I like to be active and stuff, and it feels like an artificial shoulder. It feels almost fake. So it's like you can't move it. The shoulder has no stability, no power, anything. So it's like it's 4 to 6 months of rehab, moving the range of motion, and it sucks, man. It sucks, but we're on the road to recovery.
Mm.
Let's go. I guess you got to get that taken care of. 4 to 6 months. That's a grueling process. Yikes. So you just had that done, what, about 2 weeks ago, you said?
Yeah, June 18th. I'm going on 2 weeks.
June 18th. Okay.
How long have you been battling that with that injury?
Oh man, I've had this since the days of wrestling with Yoel Romero. I was his training partner for a long time, and I was wrestling with him. It had to be in 2016, 2017, and wrestling with him, and poof, I popped out and it tingled, and it was one. I was also young too, and I didn't really look it up, and when I got back into boxing, I felt the fatigue, but then I was training so much boxing that the endurance picked it up. I picked up the muscle endurance. But what slowed me down was after this last fight, I took a break and I got cold shoulder. So when I started to train again, there was no way that I was able to fight it like that. It would be a waste of opportunity.
Damn. That's Yoel Romero. Anyone I've heard talk about that guy is just like, man, he's made of concrete.
I was a sparring partner for a long time. For a long time, I was his punch, but his punches hard, man. Guys are freak of nature.
Yeah.
When he was in the UFC?
Yeah, and before UFC, when he was in Strike Force, yeah, I was helping him get ready for all those fights.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know
you can ask him. He knows me.
Do you still talk to him?
Yeah, of course. I saw him not too long ago in my local public store, grocery shopping. And I was like, hey, Yoel, and he knows me when I was fatter. I was big, And when he sees me, he's like, no way, like this is you, like wow, So we're good friends, man. Yeah, and we were also signed with the same management company, First Round Management.
First Round Management. That's right. Yeah, that's Jorge's management company too, right?
I don't know who Jorge. Yes, Georgie. Yes, Georgie.
Yes, yeah. Crazy.
And that's crazy. I could tell you guys are friends because that impersonation of Yoel was spot on, bro.
It is, man. It is. That's just him, And, and let me tell you, that guy, he's going to like every time you spar with him, he has no mercy. He don't care if you're small, you're big. He's coming to hurt you. You know what I'm saying?
He's only got one gear, that guy, eh?
Yeah. Hey, Murk, give me a sec. Hey, yeah. Let me call you back. All right, sorry, guys.
No problem, brother. No problem. You got kids too, right?
He's looking real good too. Dirty boxing, Yoel. It's good.
Yeah,
it's good to see he's still doing his thing.
He's 48, right? I think he's 48 years old and he's still fighting, man. Like I said, you guys are a freak of nature. Not too many guys at 48 are fighting at his elite level, Yeah. Oh, and yes, I have kids. I have a 8-year-old boy and I have a 19-year-old daughter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. How do they feel about you fighting bare knuckle?
My daughter, she's my number one fan. You know what I'm saying? She's there with me at all the fights. My son, I still haven't taken him to the fights, because he's still young, but he watches me on the computer and he, he boxes. He does he follows up and then he does his own training.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So you're living out in Florida. Were you born in Florida? I seen recently you made it back to Colombia, reconnected with your dad. Was the first time you seen your dad?
Oh yeah. Well, since 1993. Um,
Oh,
that was my first time going to Colombia and first time actually hugging my father, seeing my my actual blood father, man. So many years of asking where I come from and who's my father and where's my family members and I'm finally receiving that love now. Oh, and I was
So
born and raised in Miami, Florida. Dade
you
County, baby.
that's what I was gonna ask. You were born in
yeah,
Miami, but
305.
Born and
your
raised
dad
in Dade
from
County.
Colombia.
Hey, my dad's from Colombia. My mom is from New York with Cuban parents, but so I was raised with the Cuban side, Miami. So Americanized Cubans, never with the Colombians.
Mm.
So it felt good going back to. I mean, it felt good going to Colombia and touching in with my father's roots.
And that was Cartagena, right?
That was Cartagena, yeah. That was just I went there because I went in with a family, and it was like the more to do, because where my father's from is not really much to do, which is Barranquilla.
Okay, yeah, because I when we were talking, I remember I messaged you because we have a brother that we work at work, and he's actually born in Cartagena. And he
Mm.
just moved out to Canada recently, and then I just happened to be showing him your story because I seen you touch down in Colombia, right? And I was like, oh, look, this guy touched down in Colombia, and then as soon as he's seen all your like postings where you were going and stuff, he's like, bro, that's Cartagena, that's where I'm from, you
Oh
know?
shit.
Oh man, that's crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
Cartagena is a very it's a very old town in Colombia, and it has a lot of historical points, and it's a party town. People go there and to walk around the streets. People don't have much, but they get along.
Talk about the weight journey there a little bit because you mentioned that you were a bigger guy before. I also seen in one of your walkouts against Marcus Williams, I believe, when you fought Marcus Williams, you were walking out, and the commentator mentioned in your walkout that you used to weigh about 355 pounds before.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I was morbid obese. I was borderline diabetic. I was having a lot of like chest pains. I mean, if you look at my medical history, I was in and out of the hospital every other day. And I was going to ER just because I had chest pains, back pains. I had a fracture in my L5 from being so heavy and the wear and tear of wrestling. So after the fracture of the spine, which was happening like probably around 2018, that's when I started gaining a lot of like heavyweight. Because I've always been a heavy set kid. I've always been around 285, 260, 270. Even though I was still chubby, I wasn't supposed to ever fight at that weight. I did fight MMA at that weight, heavyweight, and I got knocked out and suffered more injuries, fractured orbital bone, uh, uh, fractured tibia, and a lot more injuries came from that. So, throughout those years, I just got regular jobs. I gained regular weight, and when I got the 2018 when I was wrestling, and I got the L5 fracture in my spine, that's when the heavy weight started to gain. Was I don't know. Real dark times. I would just say that. We got into liquor, heavy drugs, food, fast food. I was rapping, making music, living a horrible life, man. And just one thing after another, and health issues. Health issues became a big problem.
How old were you at that time when like you were at your heaviest?
It was 2019. So I'm 38 now. I was what, 33, 34, 32, around
Yeah.
there.
So about 6 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn. So how?
You
So
come a
what
long
was that?
way, man.
Yeah, what was the journey like cutting all that weight? Like what so you cut all the weight mostly because of your health issues too, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't cut weight because I was fighting. I cut weight because I had to. I had to break up the family that I had. I had a home. I had the son of mother of my son. I had my daughter. I had and I had to break that home up because it was a bad environment, and there was not gonna be any change if that was not broken up. You know what I mean? I had to isolate myself, and I had to put myself in a darker spot. Take strip myself of everything, of even seeing my son. So I didn't see my son for a while. I was going to court, court issues, and I stuck in my head, you know what? I'm just gonna run like Forrest Gump, literally, and just I want to run. And I started running every day. I started running. My first mile was 20 minutes. My first mile was 20 minutes, so it was bad, and I started off by doing that.
Mm. Man,
Yeah.
that's a crazy.
Sometimes I forget because sometimes they ask me, "Oh, what did you do?" And sometimes I ask myself, I'm like, what the fuck did I do? Because there's days where I blacked out. There's days where I would run with my dog tag. I had a little dog tag with my social security, my date of birth, my name, my blood type, just in case if I do pass out on the street, an ambulance can come by and pick me up, and they know who I am.
Wow.
Yeah,
Damn,
Damn,
that
bro.
takes a lot of discipline and perseverance. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's inspirational, man. It's really inspirational. Now you're fighting in the BKFC professionally, like 38 too, man. I'm 38. I'm starting to think I can do it. Let's go.
Of course you can, man. Everybody sets a number, right? Like, oh, I'm too old, or I shouldn't be doing this. Why not? Yeah, you should, man. Go out there and have fun, man. Life is short. You know what I'm saying? And then you can do multiple things and have fun while doing that, and you have more stories to tell your grandkids.
Yeah, man.
Amen, brother.
That's a crazy story, brother. Seriously. Hats off to you for that, man.
Thank you. And that was just one phase of journey of my life. That was the older version of what happened in my adult life. But there's many things I've had that took me to this point in life. Many, many, many child traumas, and I had to growing up with that, and using that as fuel and motivation. Never to victimize myself, because I'm never gonna use none of that stuff that happened in my childhood for trauma. So, it's like a pity story. But I did use all of that for fuel and motivation to lose the weight, and to get back on a stage and fight and tell my story.
For sure, man. That's a crazy story. Everybody needs to hear, man. For sure. I seen a post too that you put out. I don't know if it was yesterday or whatever, but you said you died a few times and you were reborn like 3, 4 times again. So even
Yeah.
that, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I literally when I had a surgery for all the loose skin that I had. I had a lot of loose skin when I lost a lot of weight, and they sewed me up, and I had an infection in my stomach, so I was internally bleeding. So they sent me home, and I was bleeding out on my couch. I literally was bleeding out, and when I had to go to the doctor the next morning, because I had to follow up the next morning, they had to like literally carry me out of my house. I had no blood in me. So when the doctor saw me, they said OR 5 minutes. And I remember telling the doctor, "Oh, I don't want to die. I don't want to die." And the doctor, they were all looking at each other. They were like, OR 5 minutes. And in the OR, I remember they were like, yo, this guy's gone. This guy's gone. And I remember falling asleep, and I woke up. I woke up and I was like, I'm still here. It really was, I was not meant to be here. And multiple times too, when I was a child, I don't want to get too much into it, but I wasn't supposed to be here. Just to say I wasn't supposed to be here. So everything that's going on in my life now is an addition, is a bonus. I'm already a champion at life. I don't need to fight. Sometimes I don't even like to fight. I don't like to be with the purpose of shedding my brother's blood. But this is what we're doing, and this is what we're gonna continue doing.
Damn, bro. You get me emotional a little bit, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Just hearing all that, bro.
It does separate me from the rest, because a lot of these guys they want to fight for. Oh, I want to be champion. I want to fight. Anybody can fight. Anybody can be champion, man. You know what I'm saying? What's the story behind it? Well, what's the motivation? What's the discipline? What's the spark that got you to get you where you're going? Because not everybody's meant to be up here, and somebody that suffers through some stuff, through some traumatized stuff, I think can use that story to fuel up.
Mm,
Yeah, sometimes you know, the rough upbringing, they mold us into who we are. Um, and you know, sometimes yeah, you're not play the victim, but sometimes you use that to your benefit. You know, it's just more experience and wisdom, and you've been through it and you've gotten through things in the past, so there's nothing you can't do, right?
Nobody can take me out. I even took a 10-year break from competing, and I came back and fight Bkfc, which there's a line to fight for Bkfc, and then so no one can take me off of my spot. You know, I earned my shit.
Yeah, we've seen that too on because we went on Tapology to look at your record too, and we seen that the last time, the first two fights you fought on like Texas regional and Florida regional, right?
Yeah. It was back in 2009, and I had a fight in Louisiana, which I think that's unofficial. It was Tyler, Texas in 2009, and then Miami, Florida in 2011, which that was my last fight MMA.
That was
So I,
MMA.
I was mixed martial arts. Now I don't have the amateur record. I don't have the pretty amateur background that a lot of these guys have. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys that I train with started boxing in Cuba when they were 6, 7 years old. You know, and they have 200, 300 amateur fights in the Olympics and in the amateurs. So I don't come from that background. You know, I never had that. And so just for me to be in this position that I'm in, it's huge for me.
For sure, man.
No
For
doubt.
sure, bro.
But like, you know, you might not have had those amateur fights, but you've been fighting against a lot of other things, right? So
Yes.
you belong,
Life.
brother. You belong.
Fighting
Um,
with life, man. I
and
don't think nobody can hit you harder than life.
let's go. You're right, man. Life will fucking put you on your ass every so often, as long as you keep getting up. So, how'd you get the nickname Murk?
Well, Murk, they used to call me back when I was fighting MMA. They used to call me Van Dam, Marcus Van Dam Suarez, because I used to do a lot of crazy kicks and spinning back kicks and all that. Um, I started rapping Young Murk. You know, my name is Marcus, and I was trying to figure out what name could I come up with, you know, to rap. And I was like, Young Mark, Young Mark. I was like, nah, you know, it's too political, you know. And then my daughter came up with like Murk, you know, because you know you murk everybody, you know. And I kind of like liked it. I was like, okay, Young Murk. You know, I have a few songs on YouTube and Apple Play with my Young Murk Florida Boy, and it stuck with me. It stuck with me throughout this whole journey, you know. And now everybody calls me Murk. I'm like, okay, just stay with Murk, you know.
Damn, I like that Merc season. It's so fitting for bare knuckle now too, right?
It just fit perfectly. Everything that happened in the past 5 years, it kind of like molded me to fight for BKFC. You know, I was like, okay, well, let's just roll with the wave. You know,
Mm.
Let's go. I gotta hear some of those tracks, brother. Young Murk on the mic.
Yo, Mark, Florida Boy. That's probably the best one I got. I can't say I was a talented rapper, man. I learned that when I was rapping, I met a lot of talented people that can write music, and it was crazy. I was like, wow, you guys can really rap, man. And I'm over here, you know, just I'm just throwing it out there, and like, can't do that.
We should
So
definitely have to
you
check that
don't
out.
you think you'd ever walk out to one of your old songs?
Oh, of
Walkout
course,
song?
Florida Boy, definitely. I was thinking about it
Florida
too.
boy?
Florida Boy, yeah, Florida Boy.
Let's go.
Yeah, we were actually that same fight. I was saying that they mentioned that you were overweight before. They also you came out to like a random song. It was like a really slow song, and the commentators were like, "Oh, I don't know about the choice of music, but so we just found out on the prelims that you don't actually get to choose your music. Is that
Oh,
correct?"
well, that was before the Zon got a piece of a BKFC. Hold on, let me second. Now that the Zon is has a piece of the pie, you're able to choose your music. But before that, it was copyright infringement and all that stuff. So they weren't allowed to, at least the prelims weren't allowed to pick their come out music. So I was chose with some random funeral music. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
What a
I
random.
literally, I came out and it was like a funeral, and I was like, oh man. So I had to like kind of like look at my opponent and lock in. I'm like, forget about the song, bro. Just walk out and kill this guy.
How you gonna get hyped up to that?
No, bro, you couldn't. You could. Even the crowd was kind of like, what the hell? Like
Yeah.
nobody expected that. Nobody expected that.
Yeah, you're coming out with that ski mask. Like I like that too, man.
Yeah, I love that.
I like the style coming out in your walkout with the ski mask, man. That's gangster, bro.
It was a symbolic meaning to that too. My first fight, and with Drew Nolan, it was the white mask, and it was kind of like a moment where I disappeared from the world, I disappeared, I lost the weight, and I came back, and a lot of people didn't recognize me. So when I came out with the mask, it was like, oh shit, is that who I think it is? And when I took off the mask, it was like, oh shit, that's Marcus. Like, holy crap. I can't believe, look at him. Like, he lost the weight, transformed his life, and now he's up there fighting. So there was a whole symbolic image to that. Like, came out like a phantom ghost.
I like that, bro.
Yeah, me too, man. And you were calling for that rematch immediately. Um, did did that fight get canceled second time around? Were you guys supposed to get back in there? What
Yes,
happened?
we were supposed to fight at was it March 15th at Dolphin Mall Vivo, and he had pulled out that same week of the fight. Supposedly it was an injury, and don't get me wrong, I'm still gunning for him just because I want to like get that first, 'cause I had him my first fight, man. I had him, so I want to get that taste back. I want to get that bitter taste out of my mouth.
Mm,
Yeah, I hear
But
you,
yeah,
brother.
I was supposed to fight him. Then they ended up placing Marcus Williamson in the spot for him.
mm, damn. Yeah,
So,
man, that's definitely a story too. Like, so what I meant to ask you too, you had that last fight in Florida Regional in 2011, and then you didn't make your bare knuckle debut, I believe, in until 2023. So during that break is when you were really cutting that weight and getting to know yourself, finding yourself, really, right? Is that right?
Yes, yes. It was learning how to eat, learning how to live the lifestyle of a fighter. Because I had all gone away. I was just on and off training, and I wasn't really focused on competing. I had really lost the love of competing. I really wasn't into the whole aspect of, I'm gonna lose the weight to fight bare knuckle. It wasn't even in my mind. So when the opportunity came around, I was like, okay, well, I'm physically fit for the opportunity. Let's jump on it, and I'm not new to the fight game, and let's show them how we rock.
So
let's
what
go.
specifically made you get into bare knuckle?
There was a lot of fighters that were having 2 or 3 fights, never have any training, and then they were calling themselves pro fighters. And I was watching, I was overweight, and I was kind of like, man, it takes years to become a professional fighter. You got boxers fighting their whole lives, and you got these bums coming over here having 2 or 3 fights, and then they want asking for the championship and acting like, oh, I, no, and I really wanted to come in and show everybody that you don't have to be on that raw, and be all loud and be all snappy. You don't gotta be that wannabe thug. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go up there, show people a gladiator. You know what I mean? Show people a true human, a true heart. And if you win the people's right, the people's freedom, the people's emotions, you win your freedom. You know what I'm saying? But people come into this whole game with an attitude and with an entitlement, and it's like, yo, relax. You haven't beat nobody. You haven't done nothing. You know what I'm saying? You got to do it to go a long way for you to even start asking. But again, this is a new sport, and I guess it's a new league of fighters.
Yeah, it seems like even like you look at the UFC, the pressers, the internet, the behind the scenes, like that's generating so many views. Like sometimes it's more entertaining than the actual fights in the UFC. Anyway, I'm not gonna say that for bare knuckle because like straight fireworks and bare knuckle. But another thing, I see now recently that you are you a weight loss coach for people? Are you helping other people get in shape now?
Yes, yes. I constantly help out people. I give them a whole, kind of like a wake up call. I do personal development, character development, clean up their image, for social media as well, for helping them promote marketing. Because nowadays it's not all about fighting. You could be the best fighter in the world, but if you don't know how to promote and market yourself, then no one's gonna really look at you. Promoters gonna just sideswipe you.
Facts.
Yeah, that's true, man. Like, there's so much more that goes into it, right? Yeah, marketing is big.
Yeah, and a lot of these kids, they don't have any upbringing. They don't have any fathers. They don't have any mothers. So they're posting smoking. They're posting drinking. They're posting. I mean, listen, don't be posting on that stuff. You gotta clean your image. Don't be post. If I see somebody posting something fucked up, I'm like, hey, take that shit down. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always on top of my guys, making sure they post good content. And just presenting themselves in a way where others are gonna see them as a way where they can use them as a tool for the community, a sponsorship, partnership, instead of, oh, this guy's a thug, this guy's a street guy, we can't trust him.
Mm. Yeah, that's true.
I like that, bro. It took you all those years to clean up your own life, and now you're doing God's work. You're helping everybody else.
Yes, sir.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Just going back on the whole thing with your dad. You hadn't seen your dad in so long. What was the emotions like when you first seen your dad in so many years, bro?
Woo! All right, we're back on, guys.
Good, brother. Let's go.
Hey,
Yeah, so that must have been crazy, bro, seeing him for the first time in that many years. And how long did you end up to spend with him?
I was there for 3 days. 3 days, and I wasn't separated from him. We were walking the streets of Cartagena. We were talking. It's like if we were always in contact. It was just a great feeling. He was just talking to me, and every time I had a question, he would answer me, and it was a life changing experience. Because I needed this to continue to evolve in my life, in my adult life, and I feel that with this chapter being closed in my life, and I'm able to meet more of my family members, I'm able to exceed more in my life.
So did you have any video calls with him prior to going there at all, or
I first found out about him in 2008. And then I was young, and then I didn't have the brain capacity to kind of speak to him. I knew I had a dad, but we weren't in contact how we are right now after I saw him. After we met, he sends me messages nonstop now, and at time I miss him, and I'm in contact with my other side of the family now. So it really is a blessing. It's a beautiful thing. I thought that was never gonna happen to me.
Is he planning on ever coming to Miami?
He can't. He can't. Yeah. He got into a little trouble here with in the 80s, and he had to bounce out. He was friends with Grisela Blanco. So that just tells you right there. Yeah. That just tells you a lot right there.
Damn. Okay.
Miami Vice shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in that time frame you spent with him, did you notice any similarities where you're like, damn, yeah, this is my dad?
Yeah. They got pictures, they got videos of us walking together, and we walk the same way we move our hands. We have the same exact feet. When we lay down, with the same way we cross our legs. I wasn't even raised with this man, and we have a lot of similarities, and that's just DNA. You can't deny DNA. So when you have your kids out there in the world and you're not a dad, you're gonna see, when you see them, they have so much similarities. It's crazy. Even the hair, we have the same hair, the same like hairline. It's just crazy.
Damn. That's
Congratulations
amazing.
on that, brother. Everybody should know their heritage, where they're coming from.
Yes, I think it's very important for a man to know, or to go through life, to see where he came from, to see his roots, to see his father's blood. You know what I'm saying, and continue that legacy. Is even though it may not be a big legacy, but it's a legacy that goes in your family's last name. And that's my pride.
For sure, man.
So I just want to go back to the rap thing. What made you want to get into the rap game? Like, were you a rap enthusiast coming up? Were you bumping that, old school Trick Daddy, some fucking, some Florida beats?
I was fat and I had nothing to do in my life. I was like, yo, what am I gonna do? I had nothing. I was running out of options. Like, I don't know what else to do. Or, I can't get a job because I'm too heavy. I'm having health problems. So when I got into rapping, I was like, okay, well, stay up all night. And it was just kind of like a worse lifestyle, but I was able to do what I wanted to do. And I made a couple rap music and called it quits.
True. There is a really really super heavy rapper in the game. I can't remember his name, but he's got an oxygen tank on when he raps on stage.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg was making fun of him.
Yeah. Dave Blunt's.
I
Dave
think I know who
Blunt's.
you're talking
Blunt, I
about.
think. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Maybe you need to reach out to that man, bro, because like maybe he can turn things around too. You know.
I could reach out to anybody, man. But as long as he's willing to help out himself, because I can't motivate him to lose the weight, man. And I'm a big preacher on that. If you want to change your lifestyle, you got to start with yourself. You got to want to change yourself, because you can hire the best trainer in the world. You can hire the most expensive nutritionist in the world. But if you don't have the heart to change yourself, you're never gonna change.
No doubt. No doubt.
That's
Yeah, you definitely he's gotta meet you halfway on that. I'm not saying that, but yeah, those are wise words, brother. Wise words. No, I was wondering about that too, because there's a rapper out of Canada. He's a white boy too, and he goes by the name Mercules. And he's actually pretty
Yeah, I
fire,
know
man.
Murk.
He's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I would,
Yeah, I know
and
Easy
I
Mac.
saw
I know
him.
Easy. I know Easy Mac. I know.
No, go ahead, Marcus. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know Easy Mac. I know Golden BSP. I know Mercules. As a matter of fact, I'm flying out to Ontario, Canada, to see Easy Mac and see my
Oh
yeah.
shit.
No way.
Easy Mac has
That's where
has
we're
a couple.
from, Ontario,
Yeah, Easy Mac
Canada.
has a. I'm going to London, Ontario, Canada.
Damn, I'm
No
going to
way.
London tomorrow, bro.
For real?
What? Yeah, like I got
I'm
an
flying
appointment
out. I'm
out there.
flying out. I'm flying out July 31st, and I'll be there till August 4th.
Bro, maybe we should meet up, bro. We should link up
Let's
for
meet
sure,
up,
no?
bro.
That'd be
I'm gonna be my
dope.
first time in Canada. It's gonna be
Oh
hot. It's
man.
gonna be
Well,
hot.
are you gonna take part in some of those Canadian things you do over
Of
here?
course, man. 420, bro. Of course. As a matter of fact, I was the first Bkfc fighter to be sponsored by Cookies. And then my first fight in
No.
2003. Yeah, my Bkfc prospects fight, my first one. I was sponsored by Cookies.
Damn.
Fuck. Shout out to
Even though I don't
Burner,
promote
man.
the use,
Cookies.
even though I don't promote the use of smoking, but I do promote the use of cannabis products.
Right
Damn.
on, man.
Yeah,
But
that's
hey, you
crazy.
need that for that recovery for the shoulder, bro.
You already know, man. I don't have any fights coming up. I don't have any lined up, man. So I can enjoy my time recuperating.
Especially
Damn.
in Canada, bro.
Yeah, you gotta try that Canadian weed, bro.
Definitely. Is that a week? It's like a civil week over there. It's like a holiday week over there. That's what I'm
Oh, it
being
should
told.
be though.
I'm not
That's what I'm
sure,
being
it
bro.
might
told.
be in
That
July.
week it's like a holiday week.
Say again when you're coming again?
August. I'm gonna be there August 1st through August the 4th.
Yeah, I think
August.
there is a holiday
It
first
is.
week of
It's a
August.
civic holiday. It's a civic
Yeah.
holiday, August 4th. Yes.
That's exactly what they're telling me. I'm like, okay, well, I'll be there.
Damn, bro. Yeah, 100% hit
Fuck
us up,
yeah.
bro. If we can link up, we gotta link up, man.
Are you guys based out of there?
We're in Ontario. We're in a place called Hamilton, Ontario. You ever heard of
Oh,
Hamilton?
never heard of Hamilton, but I've heard of Ontario.
Hamilton.
Canada's big. Canada's huge.
Yeah, it's like maybe 40 minutes from Toronto.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well,
London.
I'm gonna be landing in Toronto. So
Oh shit. How far is London from
2 hours.
No, from Hamilton. London
Oh.
from Hamilton is not
I
that far
think it's
either.
like an hour and a half, maybe
Yeah.
hour and 20, something like that.
So where
I'll
are
let
you
you
gonna
know.
be staying? In Toronto?
In London, Ontario, in one of the neighborhoods there. I don't even know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Yeah, that's
I just
sick.
know
No way.
it's a 2 hour bus trip to from Toronto to where I'm going.
So you're specifically going for the concert?
No, I'm not going for the concert. I'm gonna go see some family members.
Oh shit. Okay,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I'm gonna see members and probably link up with a couple buddies over there. But what
Damn.
concert?
I thought you were talking about going to one of those guys' concerts.
Easy
that you
Mac.
went- Easy Mac or
No. I know him because they live up there. But no, I didn't know there was a concert up there.
no, I must have misheard you, bro. I thought you were talking
Oh.
about concert. Yeah.
Oh, because
Okay,
you were
man.
talking about, I guess talking about Mercury's and a couple of Canadian
Yeah,
rappers,
yeah.
and I was like, I know Easy Mag, and I'm gonna go up there and call him like, hey, I'm in Canada, and I'll probably link up with him if he's out there, you know. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. So you know Mercules personally?
No, not personally. Easy Mac. I know Easy
Okay,
Mac.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Wow. I don't even know who Easy Mac is, bro. I gotta look this guy up.
I gotta
today.
look him
He-
up too, man.
He's the guy's a trippy guy, man. You know, he's a good. He's a independent artist and hasn't signed with nobody, and he's gonna keep it that way. And he's blowing up, man. He's big. He's hot.
Let's go.
Damn, you're
I'm gonna
putting us
check him
on
out,
right
for
now.
real.
Easy Mac, man. Tell him Murk sent you. He's also been following me since I was overweight. You know, he's also been a big supporter of Murk. You know.
Wow. Man,
Fucking
small
shout
world.
out to Easy Mac, baby.
Hey.
Shout out to all the Merc supporters. Let's go. Let's go.
Is there any like Florida rappers you fuck with? Like, who are your favorite rappers right now?
To be honest with you, man, I don't, I'm not into the whole, listening to music right now. Like when I run, I listen to military cadences. You know, I don't even listen to music. Because music gets you out of pace. You know, so you start breathing weird, and once you start breathing out of pace, your run's already messed up. So I actually run to military cadences. I wake up in the morning and I hear my Huberman Lab podcast, my Joe Rogan podcast. I'm constantly listening to some type of podcast where I'm learning something. But when I'm in the house, I don't even play TV. I don't, But as of right now, mainstream, tell you the truth, I don't. Nobody, man. Nobody.
Yeah.
Rap's all
Fair
fucked
enough.
up now, anyway, man.
The game, yeah, the game is not like when I was growing up. I think the hip hop game is destroyed. To tell you the truth.
Hey, baby.
Facts. Bunch
You
of
need Big Punisher back.
Big pun, the old school Fat Joe, the Nas, the old school 50 Cent,
sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
That
those
still
are the
gets
rappers.
plenty of love around here.
Yeah, that's what we fuck with, man. The old
If
school.
anything, that's who I still jam to. 50 Cent, Nas, shit like that, Wu-Tang Clan,
Damn.
Yeah.
They went to a
go.
Wu-Tang concert.
Yeah, I've been to
Who?
a couple, man.
I've
Yeah,
never
me,
been to
I-
no.
I've been to- I've been a few. Yeah. What about the fight game? Like coming up, did you have any like when you were younger? Who are some fighters you might have looked up to?
Mirko Krokop,
Oh, Pro Cop. All
Fedor
right.
Emelianenko, Mark Hunt.
Bangers. Okay.
Guys were heavy hitters, like I said, they used to call me Van Damme in my
Yeah.
mixed martial art days because I used to head kick like Crow Cop. I used to do all these crazy kicks, and I'm a big guy. I'm a big heavy set guy. Fedor Emelianenko, just because he was a heavy set fighter, he was never this physique, ripped abs. No, he was just small, 220-pound chubby fighter that was tearing through everybody. Mark Hunt, another one of my favorites, where he was a heavy set fighter, but he was looking like a lightweight, who else? Just a lot of pride fighters, a lot of Japanese pride fighters, you know what I mean? Back in the pride days,
Damn. Like Rampage too. Rampage came from Pride too, right?
Rampage was a shit, I'm like, ooh, you know what I mean? Coming out with the chain, it was just a shit,
Legends,
No
man.
doubt.
All those guys you named.
Lyoto Machida, another one. Lyoto Machida was the way he was with life, with his discipline, with the way he was every morning, his routine. I also looked into that. George St. Pierre, guys who had a good lifestyle outside the ring, because they lasted,
Mm.
Yeah. I heard this might have been pure fake news rumor, but I heard there was talks about Fedor possibly coming over to bare knuckle. And I was thinking it was probably fake news, but I was like, that would be fucking great.
Of course, no, man, no. Fedor First off, we all know Fedor doesn't, he don't mess with American, um, companies. We all know that because UFC offered him a ridiculous amount of money, and he said, "No, I'm not going over there." Um, and he's old. Come on, the guy's
I
had his
know he is.
wars. The guy has had his wars, and probably the guy's all on juice back in the days. So why would you want to see a legend in that? And I also get mad at these freaking fighters calling out Fedor. Like, who are you to be calling out Fedor Emelianenko, my man? You had one fight, you knocked out a bum, and you want to call out Fedor? I just don't get that. I don't. I will never get
Well,
that.
probably because like I said, I never fucking thought it. Like Fedor has done enough. He's one of the goats. It's hang it up. You don't want to see that guy take any more punishment. But I did see it on the Instagram feed, and I was like, come on, there's no fucking way.
Yeah, they're trying to create, clickbait. They're just trying to create
Yeah, for
buzz.
sure, for sure.
Do you watch UFC at all?
I watched the Ilia Topuria fight and the Charles Oliveira fight. I used to watch a lot of UFC, and I just laid off a lot of just watching UFC. I will focus more on watching boxing fights, just because it fits my role more, my mentality.
Speaking of
Yeah.
boxing too, brother, I thought I seen a post too at you were training with Duran Jr.
Yeah, my
Is that
brother.
correct?
Yeah, that's my brother, Robert Duran Jr.
Damn, bro. What is that like?
That's a blessing. That's a blessing to be able to train with the son of a legend, and I be able to grow up and tell my son, I'm like, hey, your dad trained with Robert Duran Jr. Because I grew up watching his dad, and I didn't even know who he was. I grew up watching Duran fight, and I love the way he fought. And that was one of Mike Tyson's favorite fighters. So actually meeting him, and he invited me to spar with him, and it was like, wow, you invited me to spar with you, and we clicked off, and we're brothers ever since.
Wow, man.
Yeah, I was in his corner for not his last fight, but the one in Denver. Yeah,
Oh shit, you were actually in his corner too.
yeah.
Damn, bro.
It's amazing, man. You
Seems
got
like
some
you're
pretty
rubbing
cool friends,
shoulders
Mark.
with a lot. Sorry, Jay. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the same thing, man. You got a lot of cool friends out there,
Yeah.
like Duran Jr.,
That's the point of life, man. The point of life is getting to an old age and having a bunch of stories to tell your grandkids, your kids, your people that just want to, hey, what's your story, old man? And here's my story. Come here and hear it. And that's what I'm
right.
doing.
I'm
I'm
gonna
building
be
as
like,
much stories as I can.
that's right. I'm gonna tell my grandkids I was on the podcast talking to young Murk.
Hey,
Let's go.
that. Listen. If I had to do it, I would love to be a podcast. I don't think I'll be able to do it because I don't. You gotta learn how to ask the questions and learn how to talk. I'm not the best talkers, the best, But let me tell you, man, I would love to sit down and interview everybody I can think of, man. They can come on a show and interview. That's a great shit, man. I love that.
Hey, brother, if you ever want to be a third-party co-host for us and bring some guys on that let us know, bro. We'd make that
Hey,
happen.
I get you Duran Jr. I get you Duran Jr.
Shit,
Let's go, baby.
Go. Get us Yoel too, bro.
I'll get you Yoel. I'll get you Yoel too.
Oh, that would be big.
Yeah,
That'd be big,
amazing, bro. Is there any fighters you like to watch in bare knuckle? How active are you watching bare knuckle?
I watch bare knuckle all the time because I always watch the styles of how people come out. One of my favorite fighters in bare knuckle is Sambo, Perdomo.
Let's
My
go.
brother is also my
Let's
brother.
go,
Also
baby.
one of my training partners. The guy is a freak of nature. The guy definitely he needs to be promoted heavier more by the company. The guy definitely is the next Mike Tyson of his own way, and I don't see nobody stopping that guy. So, and also I see a lot of my weight division fighters where I see the champion, D-Day, Josh D-Day, the champion at 185. The way he
D-Day
comes out,
Dyer.
the way he fights. Yeah, the way he's long. He's, because my last fight, I was more aggressive. I had a little pressure on my last fight. I was the first fight of the night, out the Hard Rock. I had a lot of pressure to sell a lot of tickets, and we got that job done. And when when I saw my opponent's corner, it was Lorenzo Hunt's. Lorenzo Hunt was in his corner. So he had the championship belt, and I'm like, oh, shit, you know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of pressure, and I didn't want to be the boring fight. I didn't want to be the boring fighter, on the first fight. and I was attacking. And when I attacked, I fought David Simpson. David Simpson fought David Mundell, fought Jake Jackson. He has a lot of experience in bare knuckle. He fought a lot of high rated competition where he's able to tell the difference between a rookie and an experienced guy. And I messed up. I went on him, and he caught me. He opened me up with a simple jab, a simple because I was coming in on him aggressively. And I learned that when you come in aggressively in bare knuckle, it don't come out as positive as you want to, because if you get that wrong guy that counters you right, you're gonna go down. Bare knuckles is they touch you, you're gonna go down,
Mhm.
So I've learned to play my game. I've watched these fighters, I've watched the fights, and you got to calm down. You got to wait till the fight comes up to you and then react.
Damn. Yeah. Bro, speaking of El Zombo too, man, we're big fans of El Zombo, bro, and we're heavily looking forward to his next
Yeah,
fight.
he
And that's another guy we would love to get on, bro, and maybe you could even translate for us, bro,
I got you. El Sambo, I got you. Easy. I can call him right now in
Oh,
FaceTime.
El Zombo. Yeah, I love that guy, man. I fucking I lucked out. I seen him fight live on at the Hard Rock, and I was pumped to see him. It was quick work, man. That guy, I don't know anyone's gonna take him out of like maybe who's going to the second round? Let's see this
Nobody,
Arnold Allen
no,
fight. It's
no,
gonna be big.
nobody's doing what he's doing. He's saying 1 minute first round, he's taking them out the first minute first round, and no one has been able to do that in BKFC or in bare knuckle period, if I'm not mistaken.
He's a special talent, man. I heard people call him the Mike Tyson of bare knuckle, right?
Yeah, the guy definitely has that stigma. He has that roar where he one punch, one knockout, power type of guy. He has over 200 amateur fights in Cuba. He has that experience where he's comfortable fighting. And a lot of these guys are not comfortable. He's comfortable. He says, "That's why he's like, I want to fight every week. I want to fight every week." I'm like, you crazy,
That's
bro?
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be at the Hard Rock?
I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm gonna try to be out there.
So
We'll see
yo,
how his arm
I really
feels.
I've
Yeah.
been waiting to ask somebody too because I went out. Obviously I'm a Canadian boy, but I flew out to Miami. I bought the bare knuckle tickets first before I had the flight booked. I paid for the
Oh,
heart. I came out to see the Hard Rock card. When I bought the tickets though, I couldn't get anything on the floor. Is that something that I have to buy like directly from the fighters or like some type of promoter seats? Because I was the first row on the balcony, but I want to be on the floor where, like, I seen Mundell was walking around down there with the belt. Like, how do I get those seats, brother?
where did you go in Miami? The Hard Rock?
Yeah.
Which fight did you go to?
I went to the September 13th, 2024.
Oh wow, that's the night that the whole incident happened. Okay,
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I was in the building, and that was crazy coincidence. That's the only time I've seen bare knuckle. But when I bought the tickets, the card wasn't even fully developed, but I couldn't get the floor seats. I was like, man, I want to be on the floor.
those floor seats are a lot of them. They're held. They're held for their own people. For the staff's own people, for probably like a celebrity or somebody who's paying a lot of money or investors, high end investors. They get the pass, the all access pass, and those are the floor passes. Also the VIP passes are also allowed there. The media is not even allowed to go down there. The medias are like on the upstairs in the second floor.
Yeah.
Um, it's hard to get those floor passes. Everybody is trying to get access to that, and it's hard. But you have these guys just handing them out to certain people. They're accounted for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. We're hoping, God willing, one day we're able to get those media passes too, man, and then we just start coming to the events and being regulars there as well.
Media
That's the
pass. You
goal
guys
for us.
you just gotta email. You just gotta email. I forgot who it was. Either I don't know if it was Andy Hall or Kevin Smith. One of those guys will get you in touch with the guy who's in Dave Cranston. That it's the media department. They'll give you media passes, which is everybody files for media passes. But when you file in, they'll check your credibility. They'll check who you guys interviewed, and they'll get you guys on.
That's amazing, man. We're building connections as we go. We're so grateful for all these interviews, man. We're truly blessed to be able to sit down with you guys, and yeah, man, we're just slowly building as we go. And like I said, we appreciate you coming on, man. We're not a big channel yet, but one day we're hoping to be, you know. So
Keep doing what you guys doing, you know, keep doing what you're doing, and you know, and getting the fighters on, and getting the stories out, and you know, making sure the voices are heard, and believe it or not, you guys will get out there, man.
let's go, let's go.
I appreciate you, man, because you know every time we have these interviews and we talk to people like you that have that next level motivation and determination to overcome these hard obstacles in life, it rubs off, you know, and it's inspirational for us to go forward with life after that and be like, man, these guys have a different type of mindset, you know, and then we got guys over here complaining about nothing, right? So
Yeah,
it's
Yeah, you
big.
know,
It's big for us, man. We're taking a lot. I feel like I'm rich just off these experience. So we really appreciate you coming and chopping it up with us here today.
always, man, always. I'm a big believer in energy transfer, you know. And if you got good energy, and you can transfer good energy. I can pass it on to you. You can pass it on to me. And but if it's negative, I don't want it. But if it's positive, I've always want to accept it, and I'm always open minded. And it's always good to have, you know. And you gotta have that mindset for life. I think it's not only for fighting, but any obstacle that comes to you in life, you gotta like breathe in, stay calm, and stick to the game plan, because a lot of us can get attacked with the pressure of life and panic. And when we panic, why do we panic? We can't breathe. And when we can't breathe, we die. You know, so sometimes you gotta calm down, take a deep breath, and face whatever we gotta face on head on.
damn, you're the man.
That's right, man. So, yeah, like that was quite the coincidence because I was there September 13th, first bare knuckle fight, and man, what a fucking card it was. Like great
Yeah, it was.
experience, bare knuckle. And then all this
I was Bam Bam's corner. I wasn't actually in his
oh,
corner, but I was right there behind him.
okay, okay. Right on. Cause yeah, you weren't on the card, but obviously I didn't even know you were in the building. But with all this, with everything surfacing, I'm like, damn, I was there for that.
I was supposed to fight on that card, but I ended up giving that my spot to Bam Bam, Sean Holtzing.
Right on, man. Right on. Well, you know what? Hopefully, I get to see you perform at the Hard Rock soon because I'm definitely trying to go back there. Big cards.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully, we can get the voice out, because the people have power, you know, and if the people can start voicing out the power of the opinion, then they can make me fight out there in the Hard Rock. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of fight politics that are they're in the middle, man. You know, and I happen to be caught back in the middle of it. You know, and it sucks because fight politics is real. You know, so and you were there. You know, you got a glimpse of what
Yeah.
happened, right?
Yeah, I had no idea really what was taking place, but everything's been surfacing lately, and it's just like, how does that even, you know, how does it happen? Like, obviously, if you're with Bam Bam, so you're backstage, right? Did that happen before the main event, or was that an after
That was
thought?
right after the main event.
Right after, yeah, cause yeah, I seen Boy with the online with his fight shorts on, so I was like, what's going on here, man? And he's such a lower weight class, right? So it's just like, man, what happened? Like, how do you guys cross paths like that?
You know, I would say it's things that happen. You know, it happens all the time. It is brought to us all the time that we do got to behave in a professional manner, especially in a Hard Rock casino where there's just rules you got to regulate to. You know, it's not even our land. Um, you know, and it so happened that it got caught on camera. You know, and videos out. You know, I didn't even release. The other podcasts threw it out there. And then, you know, for a long time I was silenced. For a long time I was told to shut up, shut up, shut up, and I was controlled, and I was, you know, I was supposed to fight. I was supposed to fight. I was supposed to keep the shoulder warmed up, you know, and I kept it so cold that I had to have surgery on it. So, you know, things happen. I gotta say, things happen between men. It wasn't supposed to happen, but let's just say that, you know, look at the consequences.
Yeah, It's to be honest, like from what we could see, it seemed like it was more like the corner team that was coming at you. Now maybe that we only know part of the story clearly, right?
Yeah, in that sense of the moment, I was confused. I was walking out. I even was walking out with Bam Bam's bag, and I don't know if you noticed. And I'm, when the camera comes out, I'm not like what? I'm really lost because I don't have. I've known these guys for a long time. I know them for a long time. I got pictures with them for over 10 years ago, and I'm looking lost because I don't have problems with these guys. um, I see the 185er in his corner that fights in my weight division, and I see the podcaster that coming from behind me with the phone. So at that moment, I'm like, all right, well, let me see if I can sell a fight. Let me see if I can, because this is like one of those moments behind the stage. There's cameras for BKFC, there's cameras for the podcast. Murk got caught in the middle, with another guy in his weight division. Let me see if I can, So at the end of the day, I got told shit. I let that slide out, and then I said, fuck everybody. And that fuck everybody made everybody come and attack me. We do live in a country where we can say whatever we want. You can't lay a finger on nobody. But that's what happened. It is what it is. We're here today, and hopefully I get to fight again.
Yeah, most definitely.
When do you think you're gonna be ready to fight again?
We got a 4 to 6 month recovery. And then once we get to the recovery where I'm able to punch the bag again with full impact, I would say a good 4 month training camp to get back into full fight, ready, and then go for a fucking winning streak. I think once I get back into to the ring, any ring, I think I'm gonna be a problem because I'm well preserved. I rehealed my concussions. I'm preserving my knuckles. So when I do get up there, I'm fresh. I'm really a fresh 38-year-old young guy. I'm gonna be knocking heads off.
It's Merc season, baby.
So we're looking at probably 2026 for sure.
But they don't. I'm keeping it quiet. So when I do go out there, I'm gonna let my fight speak for itself. And I don't gotta be none of those guys that nah, man, that's not me. I'm gonna behave like a fighter, treat myself like a fighter, and act like a fighter.
And we got to get you on again right before the fight too, bro. Start
Yes,
promoting,
sir.
So
That'd be great, man.
that's amazing, bro. Have you got to rub shoulders with McGregor at all at any of the events?
Yeah. I met him though. I think it was I don't remember if it was that night or previous night, but I had met him on the backstage. He had just walked in, and I'm like, hey, I grew up watching, you know what I'm saying, and you changed the game, and he kind of says, oh, mate, and I can't speak like an Irish guy, you know what I mean, but he had that whole accent, and then he had a whole row of everybody behind him, so that was a little like, oh shit,
How do you feel about him being so involved in bare knuckle now?
He's popular. He's the fight game, right? When you think about the fight game, everybody that doesn't know about the fight game thinks about Conor McGregor. So I think it's a big thing for the company. It can bring in investors. It can bring in all sorts of entertainment media. It can bring in a lot of opportunities. It all depends on how they manage it.
Facts. It's a spectacle with him involved now, man. He shows up at those events. It's like it's a circus, bro. Like
yeah. It's a circus. It's a circus. It's everybody gets crazy, man.
Yeah, that guy can really cut a promo too, man.
It's crazy, man.
Stand up on your arm.
It's crazy. Look, I think Ilya Topuria, I think he's the 2.0 Conor McGregor. He fights, and not only that, he don't even gotta speak like that. He's very quiet, very humble, very intelligent, and that's gonna be the new wave. Watch, instead of being the quietness, the humbleness is gonna be the new wave of fighters. Watch.
Yeah, we're big fans of Ilya too, man. What a performance he had this weekend. Like
boxing for the win. One to the body, one to the face, 1-2. And great timing. Yeah. He had perfect timing.
Yes.
I think Charles was a little bit crazy to get it. He had probably a lot of self-belief too, because like it is Charles Oliveira, right? But he was coming forward and was like, I think he should have maybe been throwing some kicks on those forearms, maybe like a couple hard kicks to start. But yeah,
that's the thing, man, about fighting.
How you solve that one?
Is the fight IQ. If you got a high fight IQ, then you already won the fight before going into the fight, and that takes a lot of prepping. You have a lot of high end technology now for training. Where you see you wear glasses and it flashes, so you see the punches before they actually come. There's so many things that they have upgraded that you don't gotta to remain old school training. You can do this high level advanced training, and it gets you that much smarter. Charles Oliveira is a great legend, great fighter, but he stuck to the old ways. Elliot Topuria, he has a $2 million gym in his home. So this guy has all the high advanced training technology. He knew he was going to come in. He knew he had to work on his timing, on his boxing, and he said it. I'm going to knock him out in the first round, and he did it.
Man, that's a great point too. Like this game
He's
is
impressive.
evolving so quick. You either get with it or you're stuck in the past, man.
Yeah, they'll leave you behind, man, like dust.
Now we got AI too. Like, who knows what's gonna be out next?
That shit's crazy. I don't even know what to believe anymore when those videos come. I'm like, what the
I know.
hell?
Yeah.
I'm a prompt. Help me out. Get me out. I'm like, what? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
no shit.
Yeah, man. I think we covered a lot of things here, brother. Is there any sponsors, anybody you want to shout out? Any last words?
Yeah, man. Magic City Fun Guy, a Hope from Miami, and we work for autism. Holy Smokes, Miami, Soul Flow. Those are my people. Team Pro Body Tech. Those are the guys that take care of Murk, and they allow me to continue training and to continue to focusing on my career. And then we're here. We're gonna get stronger, faster, better, and wait for Murk season, man. We're gonna one that fight is gonna be like Shark Week. That whole week of fight week, the whole world's gonna tune in.
Man.
Let's go, baby.
Oh, you're giving me goosebumps. Let's go. Merc season. We can't wait for the return,
baby.
brother.
Let's go. Throwing hands, baby. Let's go.
No, baby. Right now, I only got one hand to throw up.
Oh, that's good, baby. That's good.
Yo, we wish you the best
Let's
recovery,
go.
brother. And again, thank you so much for coming on and taking the time, bro. It means everything to us.
Thank you guys for having me on. It's been a pleasure, man, meeting you guys. And hopefully when I get to Canada, I'll send you guys a message.
Yes, bro. Please do, man.
Get
It
it
would
up,
be great
brother.
to meet you in person, bro. Straight up.
Will do, man. Will do.
All love, brother. Thank you.
All love, buddy. Throwing hands. Thank you so much. Merc season, baby.
Let's go.
Get it, baby.
Let's
Sharks
go.
in the water. Let's go.
Respect, brother.
All right, man.
Have a good day.